Hi everyone, so today I wanted to talk to you about parenting older children. I feel like a lot of the time as mums or as parents in general, we hear a lot of scaremongering throughout our journey as parents. So when we're pregnant, people will offer often unwanted opinions about how hard it can be to have a newborn, and then how difficult it is to deal with the terrible twos and toddler temper tantrums. Then we hear a lot about preschoolers and how upsetting it is when they start school and how difficult that stage can be for a lot of mums, well at least it was for me. And all the stages after that, there's always something to worry about as a mum, isn't there? But I feel like being a parent to a tweenager or a teenager gets a really bad rep. But I feel like there are so many wonderful, positive things about parenting older children that often don't get talked about. And as a mum to two older children and then two who are that little bit younger, I feel like I've got good experience across the ages. So I just wanted to offer my opinion, at least, about what is great about having older kids. And this video is actually inspired by an article that a friend sent me, and I think the title of that was "Don't Fear Your Kids Growing Up" or something along those lines. I'll leave the article link for you, it's well worth a read. But I was reading that, nodding along, thinking, yeah, there are so many wonderful benefits to having older children that people just don't talk about. They're so quick to tell you how stroppy teenagers are and how once they hit puberty they're never the same or they're completely different and they won't do what they're told, and so many horror stories, you know, the kind of thing. And oftentimes you will hear people say, oh, I'm dreading them going to high school or secondary school, I'm dreading that teenage stage. And I think that's such a shame, and I'm determined, I must say actually before I carry on, my kids aren't teenagers yet. Dylan is my eldest, he's 12 and he turns 13 in October, so I could well come back to you in a year or two with a completely different opinion, but for now I think having older tweenage kids is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, it has its challenges, which perhaps I'll cover in a separate video, but there are so many wonderful things about it, and I just think it's nice to share the good stuff as well as the bad stuff. So the first thing that springs to mind, and something that gives me so much joy to watch, is how they develop their own passions and interests and opinions on things. Younger kids can often flip from one thing to another, can't they? So one week they might be into Spider-Man and superheroes, next week they're into something completely different, and that's all normal and part of them growing up and finding what they like and what they don't like. But what I love about older kids is when they really find a true passion that they can't live without. Something that's really truly a part of them, like inside, and it's something that they couldn't imagine not doing. So for Dylan, he has two real passions. One is acting and performing, and the other is drawing, and he's brilliant at both of them. And Merrin recently, who is 11, has got really into environmental issues, and she's really passionate about reducing single-use plastic, so she's trying to overhaul our home and the amount of plastic that we use, so that's going to be an ongoing thing for us at the moment. And she really loves music, she's brilliant at playing the guitar, she wants to learn piano as well, so they're real passions that make up who they are as people, and it's lovely to see. Another thing that's really great about having older kids is that there's such good company. I could spend hours just chatting to them, and it's just my favourite thing to do. They're so funny, they make me laugh, they teach me things, we talk about what they learn at school, and they get really involved and really passionate about it. They still want to learn from us, so they're always asking questions. We can have some really great proper conversations with them, and I love that. And they are so hilarious. Nobody can make me laugh as much as Dylan. He's so witty and he just loves making people laugh, and yeah, he cracks me up. And Merrin is just a joy to talk to. She's super intelligent, they both are in different ways, and I could talk to them for hours and enjoy every second, so I love spending time with them. Another great thing about having older kids is you get to do things with them almost on a grown-up level that obviously you can't do with younger kids. So things like taking them to concerts and shows and movies that are meant for a slightly older audience. It's just really lovely to enjoy a more grown-up experience with your kids that you can't obviously do when they're a lot younger. Again, it's nice for them because it sets them apart from my younger two, who are only 6 and 1, so it gives them a bit of one-on-one time. The next one is an obvious one, but I had to mention it, although it doesn't really apply to me because I still have a 1-year-old who doesn't like to sleep. But when your kids get older, obviously you get to benefit from them not wanting to get up in the morning, which on the weekend is an absolute godsend. Not so good on a school day. but it's quite a recent thing for us. Our kids have always been early risers. No matter what time they go to sleep, they've always been up by 7 at the latest. But in the last 6 months or so, there's been a big shift, and they will now sleep in quite comfortably till 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10 in my daughter's case on the weekend, and there's no waking them. They're fast asleep. The flip side of that is that they are awake quite late at night. They don't seem to switch off or be able to go to sleep much before 10:30. So that's not so good for us, because we have 2 kids who will stay up really late and 2 kids who wake up really early. So there's a very small window of opportunity in the middle to have just time to ourselves, where we don't have at least 1 or 2 or more children awake at the same time. So the next great thing about having older kids is that they can help you. They can really be a help around the house, or they can help you with the younger kids. I don't know what I'd do without Merrin. She's brilliant. She loves watching her baby sister and having the responsibility of looking after her for 5 minutes while I go and do something. They'll sit together and read a book or play together, and I know that Marnie will be absolutely fine with Merrin watching her. Merrin is so sensible. They'll both help around the house if I ask them. They'll lay the table for dinner, that kind of thing. Make their beds, although I will then go and remake them because they never do them the way I want them to be done, but that's my issue, not theirs. They will give it a good go. They're so helpful, and usually, not always, but most of the time, happy to help as well. Finally, and something that I try to remind myself all the time, is that even though they're getting more independent and doing more things for themselves, they still need you. They're just as affectionate and need those cuddles as much as they did when they were 5 or 6. Sometimes even more so. They just might not ask for them. So I think it's really important to remember that older kids might feel like they're supposed to be grown up and tough and not need cuddles and things, but 9 times out of 10 they will gladly accept one. So those are some of the things that I love the most about having older kids. I'd love to hear from you. If you have older children, what are the things that you love the most? If you don't and your kids are still quite young, what do you look forward to about having older children? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave that article that I mentioned linked for you in the description box, so you can go and have a read if you're interested. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!